Last night's SmackDown left fans stunned as the Bloodline saga took a shocking and chaotic new turn. Give us a like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you're always in the loop. The Bloodline storyline, already layered with betrayal, family tension, and shocking allegiances, took yet another unexpected turn backstage when Sami Zayn stepped out of the shadows and made a decision that may forever alter the course of this war. For weeks, tensions have been boiling over. Sikoa, the enforcer who has increasingly tried to step into the void left by Roman Reigns, had been rallying his crew with one mission: keeping the Bloodline's dominance intact at any cost. He had surrounded himself with his allies, determined to show that even without Roman as the day-to-day leader, the Bloodline could still control SmackDown and rule with fear and intimidation. Solo was determined to silence every critic, crush every opponent, and remind the WWE locker room that the Bloodline wasn't going anywhere. But what unfolded backstage changed everything, and no one in the arena or watching at home could have seen it coming. Just as Solo and his crew were building momentum, Sami Zayn walked into the scene with a confidence that stunned everyone, but he wasn't alone. By his side were two men whose presence electrified the atmosphere instantly: Fatu, a fearsome powerhouse whose reputation speaks volumes, and Jimmy Uso, the man with deep, complicated history in the Bloodline itself. The sight of the three standing together sent shockwaves throughout the arena because it wasn't just an alliance, it was a declaration of war. Sami, often viewed as the underdog, had grown tired of being targeted and beaten down by Solo's faction. He had endured humiliation, betrayal, and pain at the hands of the Bloodline, but last night he proved that he was no longer content with playing the victim. Stepping directly into Solo's path, Sami made it clear with his words and actions that he was finished being a target and ready to strike back. Backing him was Fatu, a man whose mere presence commands fear. Fatu's reputation as a ruthless, relentless competitor instantly legitimized the new alliance, signaling that this was not a temporary partnership, but a calculated move to take the fight to Solo and his crew. On the other side stood Jimmy Uso, whose return to Sami's side was both shocking and deeply symbolic. Once one of the proudest members of the Bloodline, Jimmy's journey has been filled with conflict, betrayal, and family loyalty tested at every turn. His decision to stand with Sami and Jacob against Solo was more than just a wrestling move. It was a personal statement, a rejection of what the Bloodline had become under Solo's aggressive leadership. The moment the three stood together, chaos erupted. Backstage confrontations turned volatile, and the atmosphere felt less like a scripted rivalry and more like a family feud spiraling out of control. The entire WWE locker room knew that this wasn't just a storyline twist. It was the beginning of an all-out war. Sami, Jimmy, and Jacob weren't just sending a message. They were drawing a line in the sand. The new alliance declared loud and clear that they weren't afraid to face Solo's faction head-on, and the implications of this declaration will ripple across SmackDown for weeks, if not months, to come. What makes this even more compelling is the personal stakes involved. Sami Zayn has always been the heart of the story, the underdog who refuses to be broken. His decision to align with Fatu and Jimmy Uso is symbolic of resilience, revenge, and the desire to finally take control of his destiny. Fatu brings an entirely different element to the fight. His fierce energy and unmatched aggression bring a dangerous unpredictability that Solo and his crew will have to account for. And Jimmy Uso's involvement digs deep into the Bloodline's history, forcing fans to confront the emotional reality that family ties have been shattered and rebuilt in ways that no one could have expected. On the other side, Sikoa now faces his biggest challenge since stepping into a leadership role within the Bloodline. His attempt to hold the group together and prove himself as the face of dominance is now under serious threat. For Solo, this is not just about holding power. It's about survival, legacy, and proving that he can carry the Bloodline forward even without Roman's constant oversight. But with Sami, Jacob, and Jimmy aligned against him, the question remains: is Solo truly capable of maintaining control, or will this new force dismantle everything he has built? This feud isn't just another wrestling storyline. It's an emotional battle about betrayal, loyalty, survival, and revenge. Every single character in this drama has personal stakes, and the audience can feel the tension growing with every development. The WWE Universe is witnessing the collapse of old alliances and the rise of new ones, and the fallout will likely shake SmackDown to its very foundation. Imagine the potential matchups now on the horizon: Sami Zayn, Fatu, and Jimmy Uso squaring off against Solo Sikoa and his crew in battles that could headline any event. The personal grudges, the family ties, and the raw emotions involved guarantee that this is not just about wrestling. It's about proving who truly owns the legacy of the Bloodline. Every punch, every betrayal, and every alliance moving forward will carry weight, and the fans know that nothing about the story is predictable anymore. In one shocking moment, the entire balance of power shifted. What seemed like Solo's steady rise to leadership has now been met with a force strong enough to tear down his empire brick by brick. The Bloodline saga, already filled with shocking betrayals and emotional storylines, has entered its most explosive chapter yet. The alliances have been redrawn, the battle lines are set, and SmackDown is now ground zero for a war that is just beginning. One thing is certain: nothing will ever be the same again. The WWE Universe must prepare for battles that will not only define the careers of Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and Fatu, but will also redefine what it means to carry the Bloodline legacy. Fans are hooked, waiting with anticipation for the next chapter, knowing that the drama, emotion, and chaos are far from over. The war has just begun, and everyone will have to pick a side. Don't blink, because this story is only going to get more shocking from here. And as the dust begins to settle from the chaos that unfolded backstage, the magnitude of what just happened is starting to sink in for fans, superstars, and officials alike. SmackDown has been defined for years by the presence of the Bloodline, and though we've seen cracks form within the group before, this latest twist feels different. It feels permanent. It feels like the start of something bigger than anyone could have predicted. For weeks, WWE officials had been trying to contain the rising tensions, but last night proved that no one can stop the collision course that has now been set. The Bloodline is no longer one united family. It is a fractured empire with rival factions prepared to destroy each other. This is no longer about championships or main event slots. It is about pride, power, betrayal, and legacy. And at the center of it all is Sami Zayn, a man who has transformed from outsider to victim to rebel leader. His words echoed with truth when he stepped up to Solo and declared he was done being a target. For so long,